that talk, ain't nobody gon' tell you. Talk that talk, ain't nobody gon' tell you. Walk that walk, let your body propel you. Walk that walk, yes ain't nobody talk that talk, ain't nobody gon' tell you. Talk that talk, ain't nobody gon' tell you. Walk that walk, let your body propel you, yes sir, yes sir.
So right now, Hide's gonna work on his chest, his pectoral area, and he's gonna isolate straight across the chest with cables, cable flies, as you can witness. He's focusing on all this area here, tying into the shoulders. And what that does, you don't focus on lifting very heavy. You're trying to tie the shoulder and the chest in together. All this area becomes very separated.
It's not about how much you lift?
Not on this particular exercise. It's not the total weight. It's about controlling as he's doing.
Yeah.
And
when I squeeze, it's like a lock. You feel like your chest is like locked really hard. So focus on
contracting.
Yeah, I would rather squeezing, not lifting. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Muscle control.
Muscle.
This is what we do for bodybuilding. It's not just lifting weight, moving weight A to B. Instead, we doing a squeezing, squeezing the muscle. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
You got a pill for that? You should take a pill and look like this. Or a shake.
I wish.
Then we'd all be billionaires. We're multi-gazillionaires.
We using same machine, but again, it's all about ice rate. So we can hit different part of chest like this. You can probably see my chest squeezing. So it's not that much weight, but you can tell I try to squeeze my muscle really hard here instead of just moving weight. Squeeze.
Squeeze it at the end or all the way?
In the end here.
I want to look like that.
Yes, me
well, I
too.
want to look like you, but wow. Lucifer already looks like that because he's Lucifer Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? He works out a lot.
How about over here?
This is Lucifer Schwarzenegger, the bodybuilder of dogs. He runs 8.8 miles a day uphill. Bodybuilder.
Next exercise we're gonna work on. This is called Evergear pec deck. I call it pec deck. Press.
Chest press. So
Chest
And
press.
this works on what?
again, chest. Well, we usually
Same part of the chest is different.
It's same part, but usually we hit like 3 or 4 exercise, same body part. You know, just hit chest, so you can actually exhaust the chest and give chest couple days to recover. You just repeat it like every week, so chest get growing and bigger and stronger. So this stretch and push. When you push, point is you have to keep your chest up, not like this, chest up. So you can use your chest. You can see, you can tell, chest muscle is squeezing. Instead of if I go flat my chest like this, it's more like shoulder here. Try to engage your chest.
So you're arching your back, keeping your upper back on the pad, and you're engaging just the chest muscle. So before you extend out, what you want to keep in mind is that you want to already been able to contract this area before locking the elbows out. Okay? So he's keeping his arms up, and he's contracting and squeezing before his elbows are locked. You want to keep your elbows as soft as possible because it alleviates stress. A lot of people lock out and they get tendonitis in the elbow, and you want to prevent from doing that.
It's actually very, very important. So don't just push, negative throw.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Push, throw, yeah. So my chest, look, if you look at it.
Yes, it's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's pumped. This is called pump. Yeah.
How long does it stay pumped?
Well, usually it's a couple hours.
He's going to focus on isolating certain areas of the back.
It's probably more difficult than, because chest muscle, you can kind of see it on the mirror. But back muscle, you don't obviously see it. So you have to really feel it. So let's go to movement. So obviously back muscle is pulling. So you go pull. Pull. So if you can see, my chest, it stays like this. Keep chest up. It's not go down, up. That way, when you pull your elbow back, obviously your back muscle has to engage. Has to contract. Ready?
He can isolate a little bit more if he tuck his feet back. So tuck your feet back.
Yeah, that way it's easy for you to keep your chest up.
So he'll be even isolated more in the back.
Yeah. Again, I'm not moving very heavy weight. This is like, I will say like a little lighter weight, but if I contract here, stop, hold it, slow. If I want to go heavy, I can do heavy like this. Use momentum, but this is not.
But it's not as effective, right?
Exactly.
He's engaging more body parts, moving that way.
Because
So
I see guys at the gym doing it the other way,
yes,
and I always see him doing very slowly, both ways.
control.
Yeah, I see guys doing this.
Yes.
That's not the best way.
That's an ego workout.
Ego workout.
So he's about to isolate his biceps. Using a lower cable will allow him to work on the peak of his bicep.
Yeah, so we're using cable a lot because it's more like a continuous tension instead of dumbbell. Of course, you can do dumbbell, barbell, but what I like from cable is obviously when you go up, cable is right here, so still pulling. So you have tension all the way up, down, all the way up. So when you feel contraction right here, it makes bicep peak really high. So I'm doing this, closing my eyes, feels like my biceps will be like an Everest, right?
Mind and muscle connection.
Yeah, mind muscle connection. It's all about imagination. Picture your muscle all the way up here. Squeeze.
Mount Everest on the bicep.
So again, I'm not using super heavy weight. It's probably you will think right, really easy weight for my, body weight. But again, I'm trying to isolate using only biceps here, not shoulder, not your back. If I want to lifting heavy, I can do like this. No? But again, this is bodybuilding, not weightlifting.
It's an art.
Isolation.
It's not a power lift.
Isolation. Oh my God. How many?
20. 19. 18. Come on. 17.
So now I'm getting failure, so somebody help me. Come on. Yep. So this way you go beyond the failure. That's it. Oh.
He cheated my reps. He owed me 10 more. Hide's about to work on his abdomen area here by hanging crunches. Something that we all want, a six-pack. And this is one of the most popular exercises, but it's a very difficult exercise.
Well, abs are made in actually kitchen, so you have to have proper diet. But of course, you have to train abs to have thicker abs. So when it show up, it's gonna be deep and thicker, right? Okay, let's do it. Yeah. So I'm doing this. Like, looks very easy, but
No, it doesn't. I do this. It is not easy. It's hell. Literal hell. I have a question. Why is this exercise, you do this one very quickly, fast, and the others you do very slow?
right. So this exercise, that's a very good question, and I was gonna explain it. So when you stretch abs, so there are two ways. You stretch abs. Go all the way like this, and go down, kind of like a pull abs. So what I just did was try to pull my abs like this. So if you picture it, you have six pack and this between, you want to pull. Then it's going to make deeper, right? So you want to, when you're on diet and you have no body fat, abs showing up, and you want to have deep separation.
And you do that by doing fast.
Right. I'm not trying to do fast, but I'm trying to do like stretch really strong. Stretch hard. Right. I mean, I've known Iris for a long time, of course. Before I was, coming here, I'm from Japan. So originally I'm from Japan. So before I came here, I already knew, who Iris Kai was, because she was already Miss Olympia. So she was like a superstar to me. Then first I met to her in California. It was probably 15 years ago. Then I saw she was not mean, but she looks really, really strict, right? So I was really shocked because she was very friendly and down to us. That's my first impression, and after that we've been friends all these years, 15 years, and we have business, Powerhouse Gym and Body Cafe. So it's been great, like last couple years with you, and I hope this success will be even bigger. And without her, I wouldn't be here today. So thank you very much for everything.
Hi, welcome to LanaLive, a hybrid reality show podcast featuring unique experiences and individuals from a journalistic perspective through a human lens. With me today, I have a truly extraordinary person, a 10 times Miss Olympia, 7 times Miss International, co-owner of Body Cafe, co-owner of Powerhouse Gym Las Vegas, my personal trainer, and very close friend, the one, the only, Iris Kyle.
Thank you.
Hi, Iris.
How are you? Thank you for inviting
I'm great.
me.
Thank you so much for being here. It is such an honor to have you. You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you so very much.
Oh my God, I have a million questions. So, you have achieved extraordinary success in a world where it's practically impossible to win one Miss Olympia. You've managed to win Miss Olympia 10 times. Wow. And you've beaten all the women and you've beaten out all the men, right?
Absolutely.
You hold a world record.
Absolutely.
What did you do to prepare? How did this happen?
Well, I think it was a snowball effect for me. Always been athletic from my youth up to my college days. So I played basketball, softball, ran cross country. So being athletic, from an athletic background, it allowed me to set a foundation through my physique. But how I landed in this sport, it's more of a communication aspect from being in the gym pretty much all day, running into different promoters and other athletes that's already in the sport. So.
Was this in college, after college?
It was during my first year in college.
So you were what, 18?
I was 18. And a promoter approached me and he entertained the conversation of, am I a bodybuilder? I had no clue what that meant. And then I really thought it was some form of pickup line. I mean, in the gym, they're always trying to entertain, taking you out and coming on to you. So I didn't have a clue, and he pretty much indicated he had a show coming up within a few weeks, 8 weeks exactly.
Oh.
So it was very short time.
Which show?
It was a local show in California where I was residing at the time. He gave me an application. I entertained the idea a little bit by picking up different magazines, going to the library, doing my due diligence. Something very small, but it kind of piqued my interest.
And what category was that in?
Bodybuilding. At the time, it was only bodybuilding.
So not like bikini or fitness, it was
Didn't
just
exist.
bodybuilding. I see.
It didn't exist. So a little studying and a little watching the magazines, I started to duplicate what they were doing at the time, since I wasn't really knowledgeable.
And so you just went to the gym, you worked out, you did what you normally do, and you went to compete.
I went to
8
compete
weeks.
in 8 weeks later. I followed the diet, duplicated the workouts, competed 8 weeks later, won my very first show.
Wow.
Interesting. So that immediately placed a
Yes.
bug on my back.
Of course it did.
Yes. And ever since that point on, I took it very seriously as I was going to college, and my parents was adamant about me taking on another activity while I'm trying to get my degree.
That's incredible. Your parents are very smart people.
I
They
do-
encouraged you to go to school. They made you go to school.
They made it
And you have a degree in accounting, if I'm not mistaken?
business administration and
And
minors in
finance.
county.
Well, you know how to manage your money. I love that.
Yes.
That's very, very important.
Thank you.
So, what happened after that first competition? When did you decide that you wanted to do Miss Olympia? And how did you discover what Miss Olympia is?
I went to competitions and I networked with other athletes and promoters, things of that nature, and I switched categories, meaning that you have local bodybuilding shows and then you have what we call the NPC,
Which is?
which is the National Federation of becoming a professional athlete. So I went into that.
Like a qualifier event?
Absolutely. You have to be in that league in order to even entertain becoming a professional athlete. So it's a little bit more stiffer competition, a lot more other things that you have to entertain, educate yourself about before entering into shows of that caliber.
So how many years from the time you won your first bodybuilding contest in college to the time you entered Miss Olympia?
It only took 2 years for me to turn pro, which is absolutely insane.
Oh,
And that's two
my
seasons.
gosh.
That means that I did the USA once and I got second, and the next time that I went out to compete, I won and became a professional.
That's incredible.
Most people take 10 years plus to get that.
So you won Miss Olympia after preparing for 2 years?
I won my first Miss Olympia. I turned professional after 2 years. I entered into my first professional show, placed very well, and then my second Olympia, I became Miss Olympia.
So how many years?
So it only took 2 years actually to be crowned Miss Olympia.
That's absolutely incredible.
Insane.
Did you live in the gym?
I lived in the gym.
This was still, and you were still in college.
I was still in college.
So you were studying and you were living at the gym.
Yes. Morning, day and night, twice a day. It wasn't easy.
How did you manage to eat the way you're supposed to eat for a bodybuilding competition? Go to school, do work, and live in the gym, and cook somewhere.
I made sure I cooked every weekend, everything that I need for the whole week.
In a dorm?
No, not necessarily in the dorm. So what took place in between the time that I was going to school, I was not competing. From the time that I got home during the summer times, it became a full force
I see.
head-on job. So I pretty much finished school and then took on competing a full time, and still had a job because I worked for Bally Total Fitness, which is a gym at the time.
After college.
After college.
That's how you were supporting your
Yes,
dreams.
absolutely.
Because it's probably very expensive, right?
I mean, your pocket is damn near empty if you don't have sponsorships.
And it's probably difficult to get sponsorships until you get some titles under your belt, right?
Yes, it's tremendously how it works. And it was predominantly the men who were holding all the sponsorships, not women. It was maybe 10% women having sponsorships. The remaining of us kept a 9-to-5 job besides training. How do you put it all into 24 hours is very difficult.
I can imagine.
Mind over matter.
So you did this 10 times, Miss Olympia.
Yes,
Essentially, you're competing with yourself.
yes.
So what does that look like? Mentally, psychologically, physically, spiritually? Because you just have to keep getting better and better and better. That must have been also very stressful, right?
It was very stressful when you had to entertain other things, hiccups, money problems, anything that prevent you from going to the gym, buying your groceries, and doing your normal duties in the gym. That's stressful. But the mindset to train, to win,
Got to be laser focused.
laser focus, and realize that whatever you pretty much preach, it becomes reality. So I continue to say I'm going to win. I'm going to train, and tired is not a part of the process. So
I don't know anyone who works as hard as you do on any level. Literally on any level. Even
you.
now, I know you're not competing, but my God, I think you put everybody to shame.
Being a black woman on stage, I needed to look 10 times better than what's the other athletes look like.
So let's talk about that for a minute. You did all of this. You accomplished so much, not only as a woman in a man's world, but as an African American woman. Was this world open to African American women especially? Or did you have to kind of compete against all odds?
Well, being an athlete, you really don't have a place in the sport. They think a woman's place is in the home.
What?
I don't believe that.
This was back then. I'm assuming nowadays it's not the same.
It's not the same, but still the same. They think women are supposed to have kids, babies, and stay at home and take care of the home.
You know,
And-
do they
and
know we're allowed to vote actually? And, you know,
They probably don't want us to do that because, to me, I still think in some areas it's a man's world. They don't want to entertain the woman having the same pay rate as a man. So those things are still there, but it doesn't show on paper. Some of us women are outruling the man's pocketbook, and they can't stand that.
so when you won Miss Olympia, there was also a man who won Mr. Olympia, right?
Yes,
Your first time.
yes.
Did you get the same prize money?
The purse was absolutely 50% less.
So how much did the man get?
The men entertained anywhere from 120 to 150,000 for first
And-
place. Women,
What did you get?
I got 60 at the top, at the highest.
$60,000?
60,000.
Compared to $120,000 to $150,000.
And the only way that it was a added bonus to me, my sponsor used to give me the difference.
But that's
But that's still not
that's
right.
different.
That's different. That's something from me working hard and being a great athlete and an ambassador of the sport that my sponsor gave me more.
And how did they justify that?
They didn't. They just said men sold more tickets.
Well, how do they know who sells more tickets,
They
men or
don't
women?
know. It's something that they wanted us to believe. But of course, I did not. It's a lot of things that I fought for in a respectful manner, but it didn't change.
And so this business was controlled by men. What
Yeah.
about now?
Now it's still the same, but it's even more corrupt in my eyes.
Wow. So what is a purse now for a man?
A man's purse now is $450,000.
$450,000. And for a
Absolutely.
woman?
A woman's purse is $60,000. Hasn't changed.
Today? Now?
No. And believe it or not,
So, 1 second. So a man gets $450,000 from Mr. Olympia,
yes,
but as a woman, you would get 60,000?
60,000.
So like in 2022, which was 23, whenever was the last competition,
Yes. Miss Olympia received 60,000 as her cash purse.
and the man,
450,000.
are you fucking kidding me? Sorry,
No.
pardon my French, but
I want to curse with you. No, it's that bad.
why
And
are
believe
not,
it or not, the
why
women-
are the women in this world not getting together and doing something about it? This is bullshit.
They're
Pardon
afraid.
my French, it's bullshit. Afraid of what?
They're afraid that it will pretty much destroy their possibility of getting placed properly.
Oh my God. That's
Yes.
blackmail.
It is.
To my knowledge, you have to work just as hard, if not harder, as a woman.
Absolutely. We have estrogen problems, water retention problems, and women are not designed to store
Right.
high volumes of mass and muscle. So those three things right there are against us. So we have to work harder.
And yet you make a fraction of the money that a man makes.
Absolutely.
Well, how do
You
you
have
change-
to actually love the sport to be in this sport. Be very passionate and have a goal behind yourself competing. Is it a branding reason that you're behind it? Because if you're looking for a paycheck to live on, it doesn't exist.
So I want to also know, you're a GOAT,
Yes.
literally, a greatest of all time. A recognized GOAT. Are you in a Hall of Fame? Is there a Hall of Fame for this world?
What
for
is
bodybuilding?
that? What is that?
What do you mean?
I do know what it means. It means that I'm not in there.
Why not?
I haven't even been
Who has
recognized.
accomplished more than you have?
It's not one person
Is
close
there
to
a
me.
human being anywhere?
No,
And yet, but there are others in a Hall of Fame.
absolutely.
And you are not.
I have not been decorated into
Why?
the Hall of Fame. I have no clue, and I received actually a message last night that now they're saying the Wings of Strength, which is pretty much the foundation of the Olympia now. They're saying Iris is not an ambassador of the Wings of Strength, so she don't qualify to be the GOAT.
Why not?
I was like,
why not?
on paper I have it.
But why not?
But I'm not recognized in public. I was sitting in the first row, first seat at the Olympia, and the guy who was emceeing looked me dead in my eyes and did not recognize me and say, hey, we have Miss Olympia in the audience. But he went all around me and recognized others who haven't even graced the stage of the Olympia.
Do you know why? Why?
I really don't. I have never gotten an answer, and I don't try to figure it out because I'm not an ass kisser, and so to speak. I just did what I had to do to win what I wanted to win, and I went on my way. I never entertained some of the activities that they're hosting, like muscle worshiping, going into hotels, putting on lingeries to shoot for the different promoters. I'm an athlete, not a piece of meat.
One second. Muscle worship. Wow. What do you mean? There are people that will worship muscles?
Yes.
How?
It's very, very famous in our sport.
That's kind of hot.
We're a piece of meat.
How do they do that?
Well, they look at these.
Is it a sexual thing?
It's a sexual thing. And you do what you want to do, and it really depends on the pay that you get while you're booking these hotels with these men and showing them their bodies, your bodies, and giving them their fantasy of the day is to watch you flex in front of them. That's muscle worship.
Doing whatever they're doing.
Yes, some of them entertain the ideal of saying, hey, if I pay you a couple more $100, would you have sex with me? Would you take off your clothes? It's so disgusting. It takes all the rights as being an athlete from us as women.
Is this just in the bodybuilding world, or does this also exist in, I don't know, hockey, football, basketball, and in golf?
I'm sure it is. It's very a manipulating tool to get to the top, and some of us women and men do whatever it takes to get recognized. And I was the opposite.
It's probably also how to supplement your income in order to be able to support your workouts and your food, because that's not cheap for sure.
Supplements within itself is not cheap. And that's altogether another story. Because food alone can run you $3,000 a month, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're a bodybuilder like me, I was eating 6 meals a day, serving a protein anywhere from 6 to 10 ounces. That becomes a very high ticket. And doing it 6 times, having the protein, having the carbs, having the veggies. That ain't even adding the supplements that you have to buy over the counter and also under the counter.
Very expensive.
Very.
Do you find that this inequality amongst men and women is prevalent in the world of athletes in general?
Yes, absolutely. To make an example of that, Brittany Grines, who is a very
Brittany Griner,
a very, very successful athlete in the sport today. She actually went overseas to supplement her income, because in the States the women are not being paid reputable.
That's why she was in Russia.
Absolutely, to make more money, and that's unfortunate.
Doesn't that make you angry? This is the year 2023. We women have come a very long way. We're not staying at home and vacuuming and shit in our pearls, you know. We have equality. We should have equality.
Yes.
If anything, we're better and we're smarter and we could do more. We're more resilient than the men. How is it that we're still making less money?
I don't have the answer. I would love to know, because I know I'm doing my part. But it's unfortunate, because who can change that for us?
We can't change that. No one's going to... You know what? I think that once we give away our power, no one's going to give it back to us. It is up to us to reclaim our power.
I'm a part of it. I will help, but we need more who's willing to do it. Most are not. It's live in front of me. I had to deal with it my whole career in the sport.
Was it worse because you're also an African American woman, or does that not matter?
I mean, look, I was behind stage 1 year when I was an amateur, and I was there because I was the greatest amateur at the time. I was winning everything, all the shows as an amateur. And it was a magazine had me at one of the pro shows to do an interview, and I was waiting backstage. And you had the I won't say the name, but you had some very reputable men in the back speaking about the sport, and I overheard some very devastating things. And at that time, I could have said, "Man, I don't want to be a part of this sport."
What did you hear?
They repeated that Afro Americans will win and dominate the stage and win the shows, but the Caucasian men will be on the magazines and do all the advertisement for the sport, and they'll make the money. And can I make this known today? I have never graced the cover of a magazine in the States. In the UK market, all out of the country, I am.
But if not you, then who?
I know.
10 times Miss Olympia.
I'm inside the magazines, but I have
7
never
times
made a cover.
Miss International. How? Why?
I don't have that marketable face that they're looking for, obviously.
Oh my God.
They'll give me an article inside 7-10 page spread, but to grace the front of that cover, they claim I won't sell magazines.
So this was openly said to you?
Not openly said. It's you. I
just
mean,
know.
it's obvious. I won 10 titles and I've never been on a cover.
I want to talk about the rings. You know how you see Super Bowl rings and all that stuff?
Yes.
Where are your rings?
Right here. It's not a Super Bowl ring, though.
But did you get your 10 rings?
No, I didn't get a ring.
What do you mean you didn't get a ring?
Not one single ring for not one of my Miss Olympia titles.
Why not? Do other people
if
get
they're
rings?
only giving me 60 grand top prize money, there's no way that they will honor me a ring. I can make another example. I won the Arnold 7 times, and that's almost the most Arnolds ever too. Is one other person, Dexter Jackson, who has more. When I was winning, I did not get a Escalade. They gave the men Escalades when they won.
A car?
Yes, a car and a nice check.
And you know.
I just picked up a check. Yes,
Well,
it was always opposite.
Did you
Better for
question
me.
it?
Well, of course we did, and they just said no, they're just giving out the men.
I'm blown away that this is like...
It's so much that we had to endure. But again...
But do the men get the rings?
No, the men didn't get the rings either.
Oh, so there are rings?
No, I don't even know. I have never seen anyone get a ring.
So that's
it
not a
doesn't
thing.
really
Okay.
exist, but it's you. I know you brought it to my attention before, but they never really thought about giving us rings. We just walked away with a trophy and a check.
And obviously a smaller check for the women.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, you know, who we are today is a culmination of all of our experiences since early childhood. So, what did your childhood look like? Your beginning, you know, with your parents, were they supportive when you were born? What were you like as a child?
Growing up, coming from a family of 6 siblings, I was second to last. I had 5 brothers, 1 sister. I looked totally the opposite of my siblings. They were really more fair-skinned like yourself, and I was the dark child of the bunch. And my siblings used to tease and say, "Hey, you stayed in the oven too long. You're so dark. You're so black. Blah blah blah." I mean, it didn't really bother me from my siblings, but it did bother me when you hear your mother having guests over, and she's going through the album book, showing all the pictures of our youth times and showing the difference of how we look. And she always seemed to entertain the idea of my photos. One particular photo was when I was born. I looked in her eyes like a wet rat. And
She said that?
yes, she said, "Oh my God, they brought me the baby, they gave me the baby," and I'm like, "No, you have the wrong baby. This is not my baby."
Your mother said this?
My mother said that, and I got tired of hearing it, and I don't even think it affected me, but I just got tired of hearing my mom making me the center of attention when she had guests over. So what I did is I took the album book and I hid in the closet, and I took all of my baby pictures, every single one, and I tore them up. And then she had guests over. Why did this make me want to cry?
It makes me want to cry, and I'm not even a crier. I didn't even know I had tear ducts. Oh my God.
It's kind of sad. She opened the book one day and she saw that my pictures was missing, and she immediately called me in like, where are your baby pictures? And I told her I tore them up. And she just said, you in trouble when the company leave. And I was on punishment.
How old were you?
I was very young. I was probably less than 10 or 11. And I was on a punishment, couldn't go outside. I did get a spanking or a whooping, whichever one you want to call it. But I was satisfied. I was satisfied because she couldn't entertain that any longer. But growing up, I was pretty much like a little tomboy, really tough inside, protect my brothers.
To your dad?
I was very close to my dad. He used to ride me on his motorcycle and go to his softball games. So I was more of a daddy's little girl.
So you're I'm sorry, I'm shocked. I have 2 kids and 2 furry babies, which I love more than anything. I can't imagine saying to one of my kids even a fraction of what you just said.
Yeah, you look like a wet rat. This is not my baby. Take it away. Give me my baby. You're giving me the wrong baby. Yes.
Did you feel like I'm sure your mother loved you.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
But why would you say that?
It was, I felt like that just was a conversation for her every time she had guests. It was part of her
What was a
persona.
part of saying, and look at her now, she's beautiful and magnificent. And
I would wish she would have followed up with that and it would have probably sat better, but it didn't sit well at all. And being a kid, it didn't destroy anything of me coming up. I was still very energetic, outgoing.
It probably made you want to succeed even more.
Probably so. Yes.
Did she ever apologize when you were an adult for having said all those things?
Absolutely not.
She didn't. Did you ask her about it?
I did, but it was always said, oh, it was just a joke, because she called me chocolate chip, pumpkin. It was a joke. I didn't mean anything by it, but it still was something that could have been much more damaging to me. Yeah. But it did not. It just made me even a little bit more hard and strong and tough, and it allowed me, yes, very thick.
My God. Do you think that because of, I think as a child, what our parents think of us, what our parents think about us, and the support or lack thereof really helps to structure who we are as adults? I know my parents, we all have our own stories and stuff, and my parents were different, hardcore, extremely hardcore. But I always knew that they loved me and they were there for me, and I had support. I could be an astronaut, I can be whatever, anything. And just knowing that made me feel like I was invincible. And I was never taught to believe that I'm less than.
Yes.
So I can imagine growing up with your mom saying all that stuff. Probably I would have like major PTSD. I would probably be seeing a shrink or somebody. I would need therapy for sure.
I guess I survived. I didn't take it to heart. I don't think That's
pretty amazing.
I think it was more, I was satisfied after I removed the photos. I think that gave me satisfaction, and it allowed me to continue on.
Good for you.
Yes.
Growing up the way you did must have been very difficult. And I know that you worked hard and you continue to work hard every day of your life. Did you ever go through depression or times in your life when you were having self-doubt? Or were you just on a mission? Just go, go, go?
I think I wanted to put out in the university what I want to accomplish. And I believe in staying positive in order for that to happen.
How do you stay so positive all the time?
I don't even think it's me staying positive. It's me having a relationship, a personal relationship with my own God. And I pray before bed. I wake up, I pray, and I just ask for today's date to be as great as yesterday or even better. And that's how I took every day.
Day by day.
Yes, I don't go to church like everyone, because those are, believe it or not, more sinners inside the church than it is outside. So I developed my own relationship and That's how I viewed everything. Every day is staying positive and being that inspiration for the next person, whether it's someone who's blind, handicapped, disabled, trying to get where I am, or any walks of life. I just want to be that positive person.
Listen, you helped change my life. When I met you, when I stalked you outside of your gym, Tracy and I actually, it was about 9 months after my beloved Louie, my dog, passed away suddenly, as you know. And for the first time in my life, I understood depression. I understood rage, violence, unlike anything I could have imagined. I survived a lot of things, but when that little 6-pound baby passed away suddenly, I lost my shit. And I actually put on some weight. I stopped working out. I stopped dancing. I stopped doing everything. And one day I realized, I woke up and I thought, ugh, I'm too soft. I'm too blah. And vanity is a big part of my life. You know, I'm very vain. And I started stalking, and that's how I found you. Who is the best trainer on the planet? Who is whatever. So I found Iris Kyle. And when we first met, I don't know if you remember, I was wearing, you know, long sleeves and all that because my arms were flabby and this was flabby. I had major issues. And you changed my life in a very short time, less than a year. Actually, 5 months since we started, I started to feel like myself, back to normal. And I have to be honest with you, for the first time in my life, I started to eat, which was mind-blowing because growing up, I did ballet, I did all kinds of stuff, right? And as a young girl, we were taught to starve. Starvation diet is the way to go. So if you put on a pound, you either throw up or whatever, but you got to lose it. Starvation was the way of life. And when you told me to eat every 3 hours,
Yes.
it took months and months and months for me to wrap my mind around it. I couldn't, because I trusted you and I knew that you know what you're talking about. But in my subconscious, there was this little voice saying, oh my God, if you eat every 3 hours, you will gain weight and it's bad for your health. It was just, you know, like the proverbial angel and devil on your shoulders. It took a long time for me to talk myself out of it. But once I started to do it your way, oh my God.
Yes. I remember.
I'm not even hungry anymore. I think I spent my life living, I was hungry.
Yes.
I was just hungry all the time. But I didn't know I was hungry. And my metabolism, I think, slowed down.
Yes.
So I will always be grateful to you for teaching me how to eat like normal people.
I really thought I wasn't going to overcome that with you.
Yes, I didn't think so either.
I promise you.
And I complained to
everything.
Tracy.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so scared. What if I eat every 3 hours? What if I gain weight? Oh my God. But your way works. You know this inside out. It's amazing.
It's just like when you were eating the way you were eating, your stomach had shrunk. And it allowed you to consume those small
I couldn't
servings.
eat, actually.
And remember, I said your stomach is going to expand after you start eating regularly. And that's how it works. If you eat every 3 hours, your body is going to take away the fat that you stored, and it's going to build lean muscle tissue.
I see it.
Right?
It just took me forever to get there. But it's also not, there's more to this. So it's also about what I'm eating, because
Absolutely.
you taught me what to eat. And the combination of protein to carbs and, you know, counting the micros and the macros and all that good stuff. How do you know this? Is this did you learn it in school, or is this through the bodybuilding situation? How did you learn all this stuff?
Just like when that guy walked into the gym and gave me that application, and I went to the library and picked up all the magazines, it was a trial and error. I read so much material, and I took that material and I created myself as the guinea pig. I said, if anyone's going to destroy my body, it's going to be me. And I studied and I learned, and now I'm sharing it with the world, because a lot of people don't know. It's a lot of women to this day eating at 1 o'clock as their first meal, and it's just a salad.
That was me.
Which is the worst.
For me, it was meat. You know, I love raw meat and blood. That's my thing. But when I started to eat the way you told me to eat, I actually lost fat.
Fast.
And my muscles grew faster.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely incredible. You're a life changer.
Thank you.
For sure.
that makes me feel good when I'm able to help others. It's just, that's my passion, and that was my passion on the stage. It wasn't about the check at the time, the money at the time. It was a mission that I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to be the greatest ever.
You are
grace
the
that
greatest
stage.
ever. You're also the greatest ever trainer and nutrition expert, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about supplements. You know, I don't do any supplements because I'm nervous, but I know that supplements rule this world, right?
Absolutely.
And I think there's a difference between, is it black market supplements and the other supplements?
Yes.
Tell me about it. Is every person in this world taking something, and to what extent, and how does that affect them? I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. And most importantly, does that mess up your sex life?
It's
Start in the
both.
beginning.
It's both sides. Okay, first of all, supplementation is a very important part of our lives, and one thing.
Can you look like you without supplements?
Absolutely no.
No, that's not realistic.
No, it's not realistic for a woman to have this type of symmetry or this type of mass on their frame.
So when we see women saying, "Oh, I don't take anything. I just look like this with 19-inch biceps,"
They continue to lie themselves.
oh, okay.
They lie so well to themselves that they're believing themselves. But first of all, over-the-counter supplements, you must consume the K, the C, the D, the B, and some amino, things of that nature.
I take those anyway as a part of my normal
Right, but
daily.
most people don't. And that, for that reason, they think it's not necessary, but it is. After a certain period of time, your body needs those things because you can't get it from your whole foods, okay? So regular supplementation is required for all walks of life. Starting from to your age of 18 and up, you should be having some form of supplements from over the counter. Your body is only going to consume probably like 10 to 12% of what you take in.
So should we look for nanotechnology type of stuff out there in supplements, right?
Yes.
From, the tiniest particles?
Yes. I mean, because it's a lot of things that's out there today that's not really helpful. Now, today in protein, you can now count aminos inside of protein, which help make the protein seem like it's 50 grams of protein when your body can only consume 20 to 25. So now you got to deal with the protein not being logistically properly dosed. So you're taking in nothing but fillers when you think you're getting lean muscle from the protein. So you have to be very wise and educated on what you select as far as your protein. Everyone wants it really cheap, and they don't want to pay for the very good ingredients that products hold. The good products are the ones that's much more expensive because the ingredients are really raw and rare and healthy.
So how much can I expect to spend if I wanted to?
$300
Per month?
per 30 days on your supplements.
That's all supplements.
That's just the supplement part.
The basic supplements.
The basic supplements, yes, because each container is about a 30-day serving size.
I love that that water, that stuff that you had me put in the water when I first started working out.
EAs.
The essential amino acids.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, it tastes incredible. Second of all, I feel a difference. What is that about? The EAAs.
What happens to your body? Us just sitting here, we're burning our natural aminos out of our body. So we're supposed to replenish them back into our bodies. And it also helps speed up your recovery. Even the days that you are not training, you become very exhausted. So they're speeding up your recovery times. Those are the essential vitamins that all of our bodies need.
Thank you for clarifying. So you have your Body Cafe and you sell supplements.
Yes.
One of my favorite places to shop, by the way. If a non-professional bodybuilder wanted to start some sort of a program, can they just call you and you will help them put together a plan, or how does that? Or do you have to go online and know what you're ordering, or do you have someone that consults?
Hida and I both consult.
Because if I didn't know you, I would have no idea. I mean, there's Google, but there's a lot of garbage on Google as well.
Well, we have our online site, and I'm sure if they don't know, it's not really hard to know because Body Cafe been in business for 10 plus years. I would just say I really don't know how you will actually get in touch with us. It's probably random. And
The way I did, stalking.
stalking.
I
That's a good-
stalked you on Instagram for a very long time. Tracy and I both. I was like, oh my God, look at this, look at this. And at first, it was a little intimidating because you're kind of like a superhero. And everybody wants to look like this. At least I did. But, you know, finally I said, okay, I'm just going to go. But I'm lucky I live here, so I just walked up and said, okay. I needed to see her.
And I came in. I was coming into the gym when you were
The universe provides.
right. Absolutely. Me and Hide has a very credible name
Of course.
in the sport. So when you're looking for us, easy to pretty much locate us either on any of the media sites. But if you do walk into Body Cafe or if you entertain us by our website, I answer all messages,
Cool.
all of them.
Or they can stalk you on Instagram.
They can stalk as much as they like.
So I love your gym. I love the Powerhouse Gym. I think it's one of my happy places, and I have to say it's remarkably clean, which is so important to me. I'm a little OCD with this stuff, and you have the cleanest gym, the cleanest bathrooms I've ever seen in a public facility. Literally, the cleanest. It smells like bleach a little bit, which is how I grew up, and I love that.
Me too.
And you've turned me into a gym equipment snob. I have become a gym snob because your equipment is amazing. You don't have to fight against the machines. It's incredible. How did you decide to open this gym? Why Powerhouse? How did you meet Hide? And how did you partner up and decide to open a gym together? How did all that happen?
Well, I have known Hide Yamagishi for over 15 years.
How did you meet?
I stalked him. No.
Really? Good for you.
Sort of, kind of. Well, we were in the same business structure in California. We were both living in California. So we became part of this marketing strategy team. And there was a meeting held. I asked for his autograph. He gave me a poster size autograph of him.
You asked for his autograph? He didn't ask for
Absolutely.
yours?
Well, no. It was me stalking him first.
But did you, because you thought he was a great athlete or because he was hot?
Oh, because it was hot.
Okay, yeah.
So I asked for an autograph. He gave it to me.
Did you give him yours?
No.
He didn't ask for your autograph?
No, he was too shy. He was shocked that I asked for an autograph.
Oh.
Let me say that. He was very reserved. Remember, he's Japanese, so
Yeah.
he's very reserved.
Super nice, yeah.
Very nice. So communicating was probably his last thing he's going to try to do with me. And knowing that I'm Miss Olympia at the time, he probably like said, I don't have a chance. So I got his autograph, and then after the meeting that we had was over, I told him, I'm like, hey, if you have any questions and you need help on any of the things that we covered, reach out. And his eyes just stretched.
Yeah.
So we both were single at the time, and he was like, oh my gosh, he said I can call her. So now that I have his autograph, he called me
Of course
right
he
when he
did.
left out.
Yeah.
He's like, were you serious? I'm like, yeah, you can call me. And then next thing you know, he asked me, can I take you to dinner? We went out for, of course, sushi, and the rest was history. We ended up being in a long relationship, 7+ years.
Did you get married?
We didn't get married. I mean, we both feel like marriage is overrated. You don't have to love someone to actually be with them. You can carry on with life and still be committed. So we were in a long relationship, and we're very loyal to each other. It's nothing that to this day that I won't do for him. He managed to win the Arnold Classic, the 212 class. The first ever Japanese to grace the Olympia stage. He competed in Olympia 12, 13 times himself, always landing in the top 10. So he was a very well-established athlete, and we became business partners in the Body Cafe and also the Powerhouse Gym. We took an adult decision to go our separate ways, but still maintain our business
And you're
together.
great friends. It's obvious that you love each other.
Absolutely. It is no man on this earth, so you guys can know today that I would bend over backwards for Hide. I'll protect him with all that I have and do whatever I need to make sure that he's healthy and happy. And I also pick his women out for him if that becomes.
Oh my God, I love that.
So I have his back, and we're happy that we were able to open Powerhouse Gym, the first ever built Powerhouse Gym in Vegas. We were going to name it after me, but we just found that Powerhouse Gym franchise had a larger name, and it would allow every walks of life to feel comfortable that this business has potential to stay open.
I see other people, when random people walk in, And I think they belong to other powerhouse gyms all over the world, and they come into yours and they say, oh my God, this is so different. So they're not all created equal, right? You all have different equipment and approach to this, right?
Yes. Our mission was to build a foundation that was so different that you wouldn't want to leave. It'd be home away from home when you walk in our gym. So we went out of the country to pick our selective rides of equipment.
Well, I think your equipment is like Disneyland rides.
Absolutely.
Whenever we're there, I just want to ride this one and this one and this one and this one.
You can actually stay in the building for hours and not get tired, because we picked out some extraordinary equipment from Korea and Japan. It's very smooth. The biomechanics are absolutely amazing. Rehab friendly. And all you got to do is sit down and do the work, and you got a lot of knowledge in the room that can help you if you have any questions.
So if you don't know how to use one of these machines, I'm hoping someone's there to help, right?
Absolutely.
Tracy and I are lucky to have you, and Lizzie too, actually. But some people can't actually afford a personal trainer. But somebody's there to help, right?
Always. We're always walking around, speaking to our members and making them feel welcome, and let them know that it's no favoritism. We treat everyone very respectfully and kind.
Yes,
has nothing to do with anything other than you want to reach the same goals as each and every other person in the room.
Are you happy, Iris?
I'm very happy, and I couldn't ask to be in a better place. And I'm blessed that I was able to meet you and Tracy.
Thank you.
I consider you guys family, and I'm very standoffish. I'm very private. And I'm going to be honest with you, humans, I want to say I love, but they have so many motives, so you don't know who to choose to be in your circle. So I'm blessed to have you and Tracy.
Likewise. We always say our circle is a pyramid.
Absolutely.
Because we just stick together, we do our own thing, and it's very difficult for us to let new people in because we've been fucked over one too many times.
Yes.
Life teaches you these
Absolutely.
things, right?
Don't repeat the same mistake.
Right. I feel like we're from the same planet, for sure.
Yes.
What's next for you?
Well, I want to winning 10 titles is something that's amazing, and I'm all behind, and a lot of people.
And the other 7?
And the other 7 as well.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, most people who win the Olympia don't even possibly go to another show until the following year. I managed to do the Olympia and also the Arnold Classic, which is the next prestigious event, because no one wants to lose, but I entertain it every year. So I have 17 titles, and I want to write a book for each one of those titles.
Wow.
That's on my plate right now.
That's incredible. Are you going to use ChatGPT to do it?
Yes, I am ChatGPT.
Everyone's using ChatGPT for everything these days.
I'm going to use it until I'm blue in the face.
Stuff.
Yes, it is. So that's on my plate, and of course, it's some other things that's hidden that I want to entertain.
Care to discuss?
Well, I think it's more branding myself, which I really didn't do, and that's because of my closed off personality. I have a real big...
Well, if I can come out of my closet, so can you.
Yes.
I was in my closet for a long time, just cocooning, doing my thing. But you know what? It's good to be out of the closet.
Yes, I'm out of the closet. But believe it or not, when you lost your dog, I lost mine too.
I know, your little baby too.
Yes, which was a miniature little baby. So
Yorkie, right?
Yorkie, yes.
So Champ.
Champ was his name.
Yeah, Champ, I had Louis. Yeah, isn't it amazing just how much we love our furry babies?
Because guess what? They just want to play and eat and be loved.
Because they're pure souls. They don't want anything from you.
Right, absolutely.
Unlike people. But how's your love life?
My love life? I have a gentleman in my life, Mark Goldston. He's in the finance business, banking business.
He seems very nice. He's definitely attractive.
He's very smart. And I need smartness in my circle. So he helped me make the wise choice investments and things of that nature, and give me his input on everything. And I like a man who's confident. Don't worry about my space. Don't enter my space. Do your thing, and you can walk beside me, but don't try to be in front of me.
It takes a very strong man and a very smart man, and probably a very spiritually evolved man, to be able to walk next to you and not be intimidated.
Yes. And he has all those qualities that I look for.
I'm very happy for you.
And he exercises, so that's another thing.
I know, he looks great.
He has to, or he can't be next to me.
Otherwise, you're not sleeping with him.
No.
I get it.
Yes.
Of all the people I met, you are one of the few that I can really say I'm blessed to have met you, and I'm blessed to have gotten to know you. I think you're an extraordinary soul. You're beautiful inside and out. and you're
you.
so genuine. I hate when people lie and pretend to be something they're not. It drives me nuts. And you are just real. You are who you are, 24/7, 365. It doesn't matter. And you're just amazing, and I think you're a blessed warrior. I know you have many awards, tons and tons, but this is an award for your soul. This is the Blessed Warrior recognition because you really, truly are a blessed warrior. Amazing soul, beautiful inside and out.
Oh my God, this is incredible, and I'm so honored, and I'm actually blessed
The honor is all mine. You're amazing.
You don't know. You touch my heart so deeply, and I don't have a whole lot of friends that I really care about.
Same.
So thank you for coming into my life, and I will cherish this for life.
Thank you, and thank you for coming into mine. And for teaching me to eat.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can fly now.
Straight talk, make for straight understanding. That's what I know. If you ain't heard what's the word when the word has been served, then that's on you, bro. Say it with your chest, don't digress. Keep it fresh, speak your whole truth, never give nothing less. Gotta give your all, give your best. If you try, you see failure, but aim for success, yes. Too blessed to be stressed, coming at you sideways, hit 'em with the finesse.